Hey guys, so quick walkthrough of how to connect the microbit to IFFT. This assumes you've gone through the steps above. I don't know why I'm pointing above. It'll be above this video on the Canvas page. And you've signed up to IFFT, you've signed up to Derivative, you've downloaded the IFFT app on your phone. If that's what you want to be able to trigger, that's what we're going to be triggering today. And that you've downloaded the TouchDesigner file from Canvas as well. So this is for those people who are intrepid enough to try this at home, or as a reference for later in case we do this in class and you forget how to do it. So let's get into it. Fresh make code project. We don't need start, we don't need forever. Oh, by the way, what we're going to be doing is triggering a notification on a button press. Easiest possible trigger, I think. So I thought it'd be a good place to start. So we only need two things. We need a button A pressed, because we're going to run some code when we press our button. And the way we're actually going to make this work is by clicking advanced and coming down to serial. It's got a USB symbol. USB, for those of you who don't know, stands for Universal Serial Bus. And we need the top one, serial right line. And if all we want to do is trigger something, we don't need to pass any data or anything. All we need to do is pick a name. This can be anything, but it's probably a good idea to name it something descriptive, like button A pressed. Doesn't have to be that. Could be that. Well, those semicolons might be a problem, but you get the idea. You can name this anything. I'm going to leave it as button A pressed for now. I'm going to move fast because you can always pause the video and rewind or whatever. That's it. So I'm going to put that on my board. I have mine hooked up in a cool way, so I don't actually have to drag it on. I will show you guys how to do that, but for most of you, you'll need to download, and then you know how we do. We drag the hex file onto the drive in your Explorer or Finder, and that uploads to the board. So that's it from make code. This line could be anywhere. We're just putting it, for simplicity's sake, in the button A pressed. Okay. Step two. Step two, let's actually open up our TouchDesigner file. So I've got this down on the bottom here. Caveat, plug your microbit in before you open this file. Just do it, or things could potentially go wrong. I just didn't solve all the problems. So microbit plugged into USB first, and now let's open our file. Mine opens on my other window here, but yours will probably open right in the middle, and this is kind of what it should look like. Now I'm on a Windows machine right now. I only have one option, and it's COM4. This is my serial port that the microbit is actually plugged into. If I had no microbit attached, this would be empty. But it is attached, and it's the only one. You may have other ones. I don't actually know. You should probably pick a COM. On Mac, however, it should be something like USB modem. We'll have to troubleshoot that in person if there's any issues with that. So, yep, that's all you have to do for now is pick your serial port. And in fact, if we press our button, if all is set up correctly, and we press button A, notice what happens. Event flashes, and we get the actual name of our trigger, we'll call it. That's it. You don't have to do anything with these orange values. These are just for display that I just put there so you can actually see what's coming from the microbit. So every time we click, we get a little flash, and that means that the message is being sent from the microbit to your computer. We're going to come back to webhooks key. For now, leave that blank. So the blue ones are the things that you do something to, and the orange ones are just there for debugging and display purposes, so you can see what's happening. Don't worry about these just yet. We'll do that in another video. So that's it. Let's head over to IFFFT. Your homepage may look different to mine. I don't remember what it looked like when I first started, but to make a brand new connection, or as IFFFT calls it, an applet, we go all the way up to the top right. Yours will probably look like a little gray human head or something. Click on that. Click on Create. Click on this. So we have two different things. We have if this, then that. Our this can be any of these things, but ours in particular is going to be, it's faster. We could scroll down, but it'll be faster if we actually just type in web, and we want the second one, webhooks. Click on the very first options. Some services have a few different ways to trigger, but we want the very first one. And here's the name of our event. This name needs to be exactly the same as this. In fact, I'm just going to copy it. So whatever crazy thing you put in this, copy it and paste it here. Has to be spelled correctly and has to be capitalized exactly right too. Create trigger. That's it. Now we've got the microbit talking to IFFFT. Now, this is kind of where the fun happens. Click on that. This is where the creativity comes into play. All of these services are fair game to trigger. I don't know what most of them do. Feel free to click on any of them and read about them. I think each one has a little blurb. Today, just to keep things simple and because I know it works, I'm going to choose notification. HIJKL. Notifications. I'm going to pick the first one. You can send images and things like that, but I'm going to use just the simplest possible one. The message that's going to be sent from the IFFFT app on my phone as a notification to me is whatever we put in here. We can get more complicated with stuff. We're just going to keep it as default for now. Create action. And that's it. Finish. Okay, so everything's set up. One last step to make this work, and it's a little bit hidden. Go back up to the top right where your profile settings are, or your profile options are. On My Services, click on that, scroll all the way down to Webhooks. This is probably the most complicated step. Click on Documentation in the top right. And the only important thing, there's a lot of stuff here, the only important thing we need to know is this lovely long string of characters, and that is our key. You remember down here in the app, the thing that we ignored before, the webhooks key? That's what we need. Double click on this, copy it, come down to your TouchDesigner app, paste. And if all has gone well, and you've got IFFFT on your phone, let's go. Hey, isn't it nice when things work? And, oh, sorry, I turned it off. If I scroll down and open it up, or if I not double click on it, well, I've lost it now, but one more time. I press the button. Takes a second. If I scroll down and then I open it, you're not going to be able to see that, but it says the event named button A pressed occurred on the Maker webhook service. Success. And that's it.